Italian and Filipino culture together. And that's what Amici is.
Aris! Partner! Partner, naririnig mo ba ako?
Ayun.
Coach
Hello,
Aris.
Coach Mike.
Ayan. Naririnig mo ba ako, Coach
Alive.
Aris?
Yes, yes.
Yes, ayan. So again, we are back, Football Life. Ayan. So, kumusta partner? Ayan.
Yun.
So, so wag na natin patagalin, no? Kasi matagal nating inantay yung ating guest, no? We've been on a break for a while, no? At ating mga kaibigan at mga friends, mga coaches, mga football lovers ay nandyan ngayon at inaabangan yung ating season 4 guest, no? Yung ating
Yun.
sabog, no? Ang ating former Azkals head coach, no? At nag-aabang na at ating kilalanin, no? No, of course, marami tayong gustong malaman, partner, tama? So excited ka na ba, Coach Aris? Ayan, so sa mga partners natin diyan, yung mga guests natin at saka yung mga coaches yung mga viewers ng Football Life, pwede niyo na i-share yung ating link.
Yes, for sure. This is our
Partner, pinapasok na natin si Coach Thomas Dooley. Ayan. So,
Maybe.
hello
yes,
Coach.
Coach, but
No video.
please open your video.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello
There you.
Coach.
Hello, Coach.
Hey, what's up?
Good evening Coach. How are you?
Ah,
Doing excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, we're very happy to see you now again, no? It's been a while. How are you doing, Coach, this time of pandemic?
It's okay. I mean, we have lockdown here, total lockdown, and it's okay. The malls are open, and you can't eat outside, so you have to eat at home. But it's okay.
So where are you right now, Coach? Did we
In Kuantan, in Malaysia.
Oh, all right. Okay. Actually, we've been no, we've been trying to practice our English because it's been a while that we don't have football life topics, no? We've been on a break for a while, kaya that's why me and Coach Aris has been checking our vocabulary because we've been having a problem. Yeah. Yeah. So
No,
great.
we're very grateful. We're very grateful that you get to give us a chance for you to share here in our podcast. We started this one last year, Coach Mike.
Yes, yes.
When the pandemic started, we have to do something
Yeah,
Yeah.
understand.
because we cannot continue football. So we decided to do legends, Filipino players, coaches, and some of the former coaches of our national team. So we're very thankful for your time.
You're welcome. No
So
problem.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Yeah, actually,
yeah,
coach, no, most of our coaches right now have been waiting for this moment because we wanted to hear something from you, no? We wanted to hear uh, your updates regarding what's happening with your career right now, no? After with Azkals, no? And now you're in Malaysia, coach, no? You mentioned that you're in Malaysia. So, are you in a current team right now, or you're just in a vacation?
No, I was in a team for but only for 2 months, actually a month, let's say. And I moved over here to Kuantan. Kuantan is a beautiful place, beautiful city. It's a great club too. They have more than 200,000 followers. They have a great fan base. They're like all the games are sold out, 35, 38,000 people. It's a very, very nice, comfortable city. The weather is great. I really love it over here. It's nice. And I'm gonna stay here. We'll see how long. I could be a couple of months, could be a couple more weeks, could be maybe leaving tomorrow, but not that fast.
Yeah. Actually, Coach Thomas, no, we wanted to ask you, Coach, regarding your experience. No, how did you find out about the sport football? No, when you were way back there in the U.S. when you started playing football. Can you just have a throwback? No, just rewind. How did you started playing football? Who introduced football to you? We just wanted to know here Filipinos know about your background.
Okay, I mean, I was, as you know, I was 6 years in the Philippines, living in the Philippines and worked in the Philippines. But I started playing football not in the US. I started playing football
Oh,
in Germany.
yeah, all right.
Experience, all my experience, all my knowledge, and learning about football, playing football, understanding football, everything was developed in Germany. So I started when I was 9 years old and played until 18. When I was 18, 19, I played in my hometown. It's only 1,500 people live there, and there was an 11th division, and I made it happen at the bottom of the league in Germany in the 11th division, with all this accomplishments, winning championships in the third division. First of all, I'm winning a championship in the 11th division, then going up, winning in the third division, in the second division, in the Bundesliga, UEFA Cup. Went to the U.S., played in the U.S. national team, played in the World Cup twice, and ended up with being voted in the Hall of Fame. And I still, think being in the Hall of Fame is maybe more important than winning the World Cup, the biggest tournament. And the reason why I'm saying that is playing in the World Cup, you have to maybe win. Are you still there?
Yes, yes. Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
You
yes,
have
yes,
to
coach. We're
yeah,
just
you have to win you have to win maybe 6 games, or you be at the top of those tournament with six games, and then you win the World Cup, the biggest tournament. Um, for me, it's like being in the Hall of Fame. That means the media and the sports uh, heroes in the US decided that I helped to change the culture in football in the United States for that country. So that is more than just a little tournament, is something my time when I played for the US, that they were saying that I helped to change football in that country.
So, coach,
wow.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead, partner.
Yeah. So I'm sorry with my connection because
It's very difficult to understand.
here in the Philippines, it's a third world country. Thank you for sharing your experience on how you started playing, and then eventually you tried to go to US and played there and do some changes. Now, most of our viewers here in our podcast are Filipino local coaches and local players who are really interested in improving football in the Philippines. So, Coach, can we now uh, discuss or talk about your experience here in the Philippines? But first, how did you start coaching? Because you already mentioned before, how did you start coaching? Because most players, especially who played on the highest level, some of them do not really continue coaching. So could you share your uh, reason why you went into coaching?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I had always, when I finished football or when I was playing football, I always thought I want to coach football. I want to be, I want to let the players know what they need to do to be successful. Because, like I mentioned before, when playing in the lowest level with 19 in the 11th division, if you're really looking at the pyramid in Germany, with 11th division, you just think about it. You have in a national team, you have 24 players. Then you have a league like the Bundesliga. You have 18 teams. Each team has 24 players. Then you had a second division at that time. They had a second division north and the south. Each had 18 teams, and each team has 24 players. And you go in the third division, the fourth division. You're going up to the bottom of the football basics, and you have millions of people playing there in the lowest level, and you make it up to the top level. Something must happen, and I want to pass that on to the players, what they need to do, first of all, to develop football, and second, playing successful. And in my 20, I started when I finished playing football. That was I can't even remember, 2000, something like that. 2000. I was taking a break. I said, I want to stop. I played 20 years professionally, and you can imagine I was 10 times in the hospital, always with big injuries. I mean, surgeries, and had multiple um, normal injuries like pulling muscles and stuff. I'm out for 4 weeks. So I went through a lot to achieve those big goals. But I want, and in the end, it was like with all the media and all that tralala, I was thinking about I need to take a break. I took a break for maybe 3 years, did my coaching license, my UEFA license, because I know one day I want to go back to coaching. And then I started maybe after 8, 9, 10 years, started back in coaching. So I took a break. I want to relax, want to enjoy my time and my life in California. And then I started, okay, now it's time. I want to get back into coaching. And I want to pass it on to coaches or to players. What is important to be successful? I had a lot of success, like I just mentioned, just a few of it. But I also had some failure with some teams. With the '98 World Cup team in France, it was a big failure. '94 was a huge success with the team. And then why did it happen? What was it different? I went to Schalke 04, who just came up a year before from the second division, and their goal was to be like ninth. And and I said, if we can build a team, we can actually be fifth and qualify for the UEFA Cup. And we did. We finished third, and a year later we won the UEFA Cup. I had examples where I played in Hamburg, which won point we stayed in the league, and a year later we won a championship and moved first times ever into the first division, the Bundesliga. So then we went to or Kaiserslautern. 1 year we almost relegated into the second division, first time ever, and we got a new coach in the last 8 9 games. We stayed in the league. We won the cup, and a year later we won a championship with almost the same team. There must be something different in those kind of teams, and that's what I was trying in those 9 8 9 years when I took a break. Thinking, what happened? Actually, why did it work out here, and why not? And I found out they are always the same patterns. If you go this kind of a direction, you will be successful. If you have those kind of issues, you fail 100%. And that's the things that I was trying to implement in my teams. And then the teams that I coached with, I was successful. It worked, especially in the Philippines. And then I had a youth team, academy team, who didn't win one game. That was one of my first tests that I had. They didn't win one game. 42 games. They didn't win one. They tied 3. I took that team over, and we won from 48 games. We lost only 3 games and won a championship against Galaxy, New York, Dallas, all the big MLS teams. And that team was a little local team. So I was thinking about, my idea how to coach a team and how to build a function team, successful team. What I had in my head, I want to put that on paper, and that's what I did. And not on paper, on the field. And that's what I did. And I got the chance when we worked with the U20 national team. When I worked with Jürgen Klinsmann in the men's national team, I said, I need to be not assistant coach. I need to be in the front. I want to do it different way. I want to do it my way, in the way that I think. And I took my first real team was this academy team, and the second team was the Philippine national team.
Coach Thomas, no. Actually, we're about to ask you regarding that one. No. Aside from that opportunity, no. I mean, your decision to be able to decide that you don't want to be just an assistant coach, right? And then in that step to move forward, what make you decide, no, to choose Philippines, no, and then to take that opportunity to coach and be the head coach of our national team? Can you share that,
You
coach?
always, yeah, you always need to have, luck also. For me, it was I had 4 or 5 agents trying to find out in the world any position where I can go and try to manage a team. And but I coached a young player, 14 years old, in our academy team. I did private sessions, and his father asked me if I can do some private sessions. There was in that year when we won that championship, the U.S. championship. And he said, could you help me? I said, okay, I will train him. And then after 3 4 times in training, he came over and he said, it was Samuel Munter, and he said, Thomas, I'm watching you now 3 4 times when you coach to my team, my son, and I think, would you like to coach our national team? And I said, where are you from? And he said, I'm from the Philippines. And I say, oh, Philippines? Do you have a national team? And he was laughing, and he said, yes, and we need a coach. And I said, you would be great, the way you talk to my son, the way you teach him football, and I think you would be very good for us. And then he was connecting because I had no contacts. He gave me all the papers about the league. They all play in Rizal and Stadium at that time, and about the national team. And then he was talking to. He said, "I'm gonna talk to the federation," and he was talking to um, Ernie Nieves from Stallion. He was a women's national team, and he called him and he said, Thomas doesn't come over and coach our national team. And then Sam was saying that no, I just talked to him. He would love to. and then I should send him my resume. So I sent him my resume, and then 30 minutes later, Ernie called and saying, "Are you really would like to come?" I was like, I really would like to come. I have seen a little bit. I got a lot of information. I think there's a big chance to move that team forward. And then 2 weeks later, Dan Palami and General Secretary. Oh my gosh, I can't. Um,
You can you
uh,
can
uh,
you can remember that, coach.
yeah, I have so much in my mind. And Gasidas, they came over and said, do you have time? Can we meet in LA? And I said, yes, I'm coming I'm coming over. And we met in a hotel. We talked 2-3 hours about football and what I would like to do and how I would like to do things. And Dan said immediately, I'm done. I mean, when can you start? And I said, whenever you want me. He said, okay, be here in 10 days. And 10 days later, I was on a plane flying over to the Philippines, to Manila.
That that was a very
Wow.
yeah,
I think that's Attorney Gastanes, our
Yes,
GenSec
yes,
General
exactly.
Secretary of our
Yes,
Federation.
now
Yes.
now you
I
remember, coach, huh?
remember that. uh, I remember when all the newspaper on social media were trying to present you as our national team coach. Everyone was really excited and pumped up. So again, as I was saying a while ago, it's an honor. Uh, you being a legend in the World Cup to coach our country, it really helped us. But now, can we also go deeper on your experience being a national coach? Maybe you can share some of the challenges, positive or negative, so that the other coaches can also learn.
Yes, yes.
Can you
I
start when
mean,
you started maybe facing our national team?
yeah, I mean, obviously it's not the Bundesliga, it's not European football. It's a lower level. I mean, it was. I understand, and it's a different culture. You have to always, find out who you dealing with. And I did my research about the Philippines, and I did my research about the football in the Philippines, and it was for me, it was clear that you cannot do expect the same thing what you expect in Europe and in Germany or any country in Europe when you would coach a national team, or what we had even in the US. You can't do that. So you have to always apply to what you get. And the most important thing is you always have to ask, what do you want? Do you want to develop the players? Do you want to win the World Cup? And the goals that you have has to be always realistic. You cannot say for the Philippines at that time, maybe you want to win the World Cup. You say, okay, then I am definitely not the right guy, because it's not possible. The same like if I want to fly next week to the moon, it's not possible. I can't. My son wants to fly to the moon in 20, 30 years, he can. That's possible. So that could be a realistic goal. So for us was like when I was talking to Dan and Gastanes, it was like just moving the team forward. And I said, I can't do that. And I'm 100% sure that we're going to be successful. And obviously, we tried. The biggest goal was qualifying for the Asian Cup. That was our first goal, and it was very important for the country, for the club, for the team, for the management, and it was for me too. Why not? And we just missed it by one unlucky goal in the Challenge Cup in the first 5 months or 4 months. So, but it's everything takes time. It doesn't go. There's no pill that you can swallow and then suddenly you can play football, or suddenly you understand football. It's about experience. It's about learning. It's about understanding what we need to do. And the higher you play, you have to play a certain system. You cannot be on the field and do whatever you want. And then you don't need a coach. And you just roll the dice, look who we can play, and then you play whatever, you throw the ball in and play whatever you want to do. It has to be structured and has to be followed in guidance and code of conduct. Those are the things, the biggest challenges that I had, to put in some discipline. So because it can't be that the players coming late to training. I know that I heard it was before was that case, or maybe you have the players only for 10 days. In those 10 days, everything has to be right. Training has to be right. The meeting has to be right. How do you address some of the kicks of the players? You have to kick in the ass, and some of the players need a hug. So you have to find out what everybody thinks, what everybody's goal is. So to address somebody, you need to motivate the players, but you have only 10 days. So that's difficult. It's challenging. And in those 10 days, some of the players had big sponsorship, and they have to go and taking photo shoots. And say, that's not going to happen with me. We have 10 days. If you want to do photo shoots, do it after the game or before the camp, but not in the camp. So those are challenges that you have to face in the beginning. But it takes time until the players understand, oh, I cannot do anything what I want. So I have to, follow the rules. And then I was very happy the way that we developed. I mean, you can look at the statistics. When you look at, I did the kind of for myself a statistic about where did I start, and every year you have rankings. The best rankings, you're going up and down because sometimes you lose, sometimes you win. You're going up and down. And I was looking, and every year the highest ranking was always going up, and the lowest ranking was always going up. So there's no downfall. It was almost straight going up. And those are things we dropped. You have to understand then, as a coach also, you have to understand why you fail. What is the reason why it didn't work out? One time when I'm looking at the statistics, I said one time we dropped from 114 back to 128. You know why? Because we didn't play games. We couldn't, or we didn't organize friendly games. Everybody plays and they won. We didn't play. Now we dropped. That's why we dropped. Now we moved back up again, and then we dropped again. Why did we drop? Oh, we dropped because of Suzuki Cup. But if you know the details of the Suzuki Cup, that the players running only 7,000 meters, and when you run only 7,000 meters because they are maybe overtrained, they are not trained at all. But I told the players too, if you're coming to the national team, you need to be 100% fit. Otherwise, I cannot make you fit in 5 days or 10 days and 4 or 5 training sessions. It's impossible. So if you have those kind of challenges, you cannot perform. And you have to understand, as a coach, you have to always say, this is the reason, this is what happened, and if it's right, if it's true or not. But if you have the data, obviously it's true. And then another big uh, time we dropped was this tournament in Taiwan. Well, I wasn't there. Our players weren't there. There was a B team was sent over and lost those games against, I don't know. I don't even know the
Coach
name of that team.
Coach Thomas, yeah. Before we proceed on all those small details, I mean those things that happen, maybe we wanted to have this thing note for you to share, no, before what happened in that
Sure.
instances, no. Um, we just wanted to have a question regarding the 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 moment that you experience all these things, no, what you find out with these Filipino players when you mentioned that you have you have to adapt to my style, wherein if they come into your coaching or your training session, they don't have to go into that commercial thing. So what have you done for them to be able to understand these things?
Simple. Football is a very simple game. Very simple. You have to pass the ball, you have to receive the ball. That's the first thing. And if you cannot pass the ball about 10 yards, we can't play. So when you do this, you have to be 100% fit that you can run in a space where you can receive the ball without any pressure, and then you can pass the ball with an accuracy to another player. And then you have another thing. I worked a lot with PowerPoint presentations and video clips. So I want to show you as a player what you're doing wrong. And the best thing is what I always tell the players: you need to find out on your own what did you do wrong. If it's a forward, why didn't you score? I can tell you, and I will tell you, but you have to think, because you have to think about it in a training session. You get so much information as a player from the coach, from another player, how we talk, from the media, and you're coming in and talking to the other players in the rooms, whatever. So you're getting so many informations. Now I'm telling you what you're doing wrong. It goes in here, it goes out there. After training, you don't even know anymore because we get more information. But when you sit alone at home on your bed and thinking about the same situation, why didn't you score? For example, I could say, when the cross came in, the defender was in front of you, he kicked the ball out. Okay, so you analyze it, so he was in front of you, that's why. Now, what could have you done to score a goal? Oh, I have to get in front of the player, obviously. So how do you do that? Maybe you have to watch a little bit more the guy on the outside who is running, who's taking a cross, and I have to force my defender to go to the far post, and I make a decision. Now I'm going forward because in the next 2 seconds I know that he crosses the ball. If you as a player think about that, you will make a quick decision in the game because you haven't burned into your brain. Football, everything, that's for the coaches. Football is everything about speed. Everything is about speed. How fast you run, how fast you realize the situation, how fast can you receive the ball under control, how fast can you receive you pass the ball, how fast can you make a decision where to run, how fast can you play the ball with the pressure, and how fast can you think, read the situation. So, and if you don't know anything about that, about the situation, then obviously you have to make a decision right now at that moment when it's happening. And that takes too long. You can't play. So you have to create some patterns in training that they understand. We did that 1,000 times. This receiving, playing down the line, receiving, playing maybe through the middle. He lays it off and it goes out over the wings. All those things you have to do with repetition, because everything is about muscle memory. The more you see something, the easier for you to make a decision. Every position has 6-7 options in the game, in any game. 6-7 options, not more. So when you know those options, and when you get that and you see those opponents or my teammates in that kind of a position, you know exactly what you need to do. And that's what goes in with training, and that's what you have to do.
All right. So,
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that advice. Actually, uh, every time we do courses, local coaching courses in the Philippines, we're all very excited to hear from you, to get to meet you in a simple seminar,
yes.
workshop,
Yeah,
or discussion. But
love to
then
come over.
you were very busy. You're very busy with Azkals. We cannot hear from you those direct lessons or somewhat uh, philosophy or something to do with your way of
Coaching.
disciplining or approach
Yeah.
in coaching. So before we proceed, Coach Thomas, we have in our podcast a short game. So it's a game wherein we wanted the Facebook viewers to make a guest because we have a
But
small sponsor. We
but
want to give away a
Karamiya,
gift.
Karamiya and Amici gift certificate. No, but before that,
Nice.
we will have a commercial first. So, Coach Thomas, maybe
Okay, no problem.
you can have a quick water break or something just to relax first.
Okay.
Okay,
Break maybe, or if you want to go for a
The dog?
30 seconds, then
30
we'll
seconds.
be
We'll go with
Yeah,
our
no,
game.
I'll
short
be here.
water break only.
Okay.
No problem.
Yes.
I'm here. Aircon.
Ikaw ba'y naaapektuhan at namomroblema sa panahon ng pandemya? Pwes, hindi ka nag-iisa. Worry no more dahil kagaya ko, natagpuan ko na ang isang negosyo na makakatulong ng malaki para tayo maging happy! Ito ay ang Shamay King Online Franchise! Ang Siomai King ay kilala sa industriya na may 14 na taong experience sa food cart franchise business. Wow! Mayroon ito more than 1,000 outlets nationwide at may kasama pang 4 na ibang franchise concepts under the JC Worldwide Incorporated.
Oh, all right, Coach Anis. Now you can show us the game. Coach Anis, go. So we just have a little bit of a
Okay,
game.
so
Yeah. Go, partner.
so Coach Coach Thomas, our game is
Partner.
called the coaching eye because most of our guessing viewers will try. So we will give you and the viewers some tips or some clues. Whoever gets to know or who will guess, he will be given a prize from Karamiya to be given by Coach Mike. Huh? Through private message or
Partner.
Coach Mike, are you going to call the winner?
Partner, parang it's really a hard time for us, no? To- yeah, yeah.
I
Anyways,
can't wait to do it.
so Coach Aris now Coach Coach Aris is having a problem with Wi-Fi and his English.
Anyway, so Coach Thomas, I'll be giving.
Coach Aris,
Yeah.
are you there? Na
So
medyo nawawala ka.
I'll give clues. Mine is one superstar. Same with you. I think. Can you hear me now?
Partner, medyo nawawala ka. I think you're getting choppy. So maybe you can do it again.
Can you hear me?
So Coach Thomas can hear you. What happened to your Wi-Fi?
What happened?
Did you pay your
So
did,
I'll be giving a clue. So am I back or
yeah,
still choppy?
yeah, you're back, partner.
Okay. So I'll give a clue for our game. So he is a German professional player, football manager, and a former player. Uh, he's a striker, and then he also coached the national team. I will not mention the country, but he's a German professional football player. I think he's a friend of our guest here, Coach Thomas. So that's my clues for the coaching eye. How about you, Coach Mike? Because we have
Yeah.
two, they have to guess two look alike of our guest.
Yes. Actually, for me, Coach Thomas,
Over to you, Mike.
yeah, for me, I have chosen an actor, no? He's a well-known actor, English actor, and he's well-known for his movie, which is the James Bond, no? James Bond movie, and he also beginning with a Casino Royale, no? The type of movie that he created. So um, he is also an international fame, and I think that's all, partner. Because if I give another clue, You will easily get it, Coach Thomas. So I repeat again, is he's an English actor, no? He already acted the role of James Bond, no? Uh, in the eponymous film series of Casino Royale. Okay, so I think that's already my clue. Okay, so
Okay.
that's for you.
So
That's for you, Coach Thomas, and our guests, no, and our viewers in Football Life, to make a guess and make a comment in our live, no, in Football Live, so we can see who gets the answer correct. Yes.
I
okay.
won't get the
So
answer right. Sure, I won't.
I think it's easy for you because for sure maybe some of your friends mentioned, "Oh, you're a look-alike of this guy and that."
Oh, I look like him. Oh
Anyway,
my God. I watch so many movies, but I'm very bad with names. Very bad with names.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
But you can try, Coach.
okay,
You
yeah.
can just try. You can try your luck.
Later.
Let me try.
Later.
No, later. Okay. So I think we're can we go back to because you mentioned the needs of
Player.
every developing football nation. You also mentioned some of the approaches because when you were hired as a national coach, we demanded for quick progress, right? Because of your caliber, some of the media and football fans expect a lot. Wherein they wanted to qualify for World Cup, things like that. But then you mentioned that it's not it's that takes it's that takes years. Okay, so now actually Coach Mike and I are working with the coaching education, and we're dealing with new coaches, local license. So what can be your tips or maybe step by step procedure, because with your experience playing and coaching, can you give step-by-step tips for us to follow?
I mean, obviously, coaching is not just about reading the books and watching videos and stuff like that, and then you understand and you know exactly how everything works. It's also about the experience that you have, especially, I would say, especially in Asia, because again, Asia is behind the big leagues and the big football, and everything happens for a reason. And why is it? Because the development in Europe is 10 times better than it's in Asia, and that's why Europe is so far ahead of them. You can also go to every single country in Asia. Why is Vietnam so ahead of many teams, countries than more than the Philippines or Malaysia or Singapore, Indonesia? Why are they better? Because of the development that they have. So you have to have a development. There's so many factors. One is the development. If you play with young ages and the age group, and it's not just about training. It's not just about getting the ball and kicking it against the wall. It's also about competition. You have to play in a league at a young age with 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 16, 18. You have to have competition every month, every week. If you have that, then you will develop much, much better. The second thing is you have to have good coaches who can identify talent. It's about what decision does he make? Does he think about that decision? Is he qualified? Can you see in a player, oh, he needs only a little bit of a touches and a little bit more technique on the basics, instead of you see a player who is great as technique, but he has no understanding about where to go, what to do, and how to make a decision. So you have to see that as a coach, and then you have to individually talking to those players and develop them and explain to them what they need to do, why they need to do that, and how they need to do it. The next thing is you have to have a fan base where you be under pressure. You play in a stadium for 3, 4 thousand people, or maybe in a league where you have only 50 or 100 family and friends watching the game. There's no pressure. And if you don't have pressure, you don't develop, because you have to have that in your. If I'm making a mistake, it's about millions of dollars for the club, or losing my job, or being in a big newspaper on headlines because of Thomas made that huge mistake. You don't want that. You need to. That's a kind of a pressure that you have to deal with to play in a big competition. So all those things are very, very important. It's not just one thing. We come in and, like I said before, you swallow a tablet, and or you drink that juice, and then suddenly you understand, how to develop, how you play football. There are many things that need to fall into place, and the issue is what I had here, for example, also was that people don't listen, don't want to do it. That's a different story. If you want to develop the kids, then the tools that you have to get them where they need to go, or maybe an adult league. The most of the what do we have in the Philippines? We have the Premier, the PFL, and then we have maybe a second division team, but then that's it. There's nothing else.
Yeah.
They have a region where you play on the weekends, maybe a tournament or whatever, but there are no competition every weekend where you have to fight, where you have to, to think about, prepare. Are you going out until 4 o'clock in the morning? Next day you play football. That's what we did when I played in the 11th division. But here's a little bit different. Those are all things that they have to come into place to make it happen. And then you have to listen. And I'm not the best coach in the world, of course, and I'm not the best manager or sports director or president or whatever. I'm not. But I have some kind of an experience in my 20 years in playing and 10 years in coaching, that I think I know a little bit about which direction we can go, and we should. And then it would be great, to listen sometimes and to say, okay, maybe it makes sense. I don't want to have everything under control, and I want to, tell everybody what they need to do in the federation, in the league, in the clubs, and the presidents or whatever. No, but I'm in a part where, okay, what do you want? You want success? That's what you need to do. Why? Because this is how we got success, and this is what you need to do. We need to be in the same hotel than we stayed before we're successful. Emotion intelligence are very, very important. A team, any team, if you have a youth team, if you have an adult team, if you have a professional team, if you have a national team, you have to build a team. And the team is not one, not three, not five, it's 24. Plus coach, plus equipment manager, plus physiotherapist, and they all need to be in one on one page. And in your club, in the youth club, if you have 15, 16, 18 players, they need to listen, they need to follow the guidelines, and they need to train, organize with the coach. If you create that and everybody works for each other, you will be successful. If you let the
Coach,
players do
yeah.
in a young age, they're going to do it later on too.
Coach,
Uh,
coach.
Coach, I think in relation to what you are sharing, there's a question here from Coach Maur Rosen. I don't know
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you know him. His question is this, and I think there's also
Another
an
question.
experience that you need to maybe help us understand what happened before when you
Okay.
were actually dealing with some of the players. So, Coach Maur asks here, well, my greetings to Coach Thomas. To what extent is the opinion of the players important in choosing a coach? So, thank you and stay safe. So, I think to what extent is the opinion of players? You yourself, you've been a team captain. I think you have the influence among your team and even selecting
Players.
coaches
Coach?
to.
Absolutely none. I
Okay,
would say
okay.
none.
Okay,
The
okay.
coaches, the players in a club, in a professional club, a player gets paid what to do what? To do the best on the field, to follow the rules, and give everything they have to 100% to make the club, the institution successful. So, and the institution is the owner of the club, is the fans of the club, the sponsors, and the investors. That's the institution. They paying the players to do what? To play as best as they can. Whatever they have, they need to put in. And then they're also paying a coach to do what? To put the players in the best position and put the players and be successful, play good football and be successful. That's one who makes a decision, and that's the coach. And if they are not successful, then you can fire the coach and bring somebody else in. But you never can let the player's decision make a decision and say, "Oh, we need this one, or we need it." I mean, you can say it. You can say it because of the federation in the U.S. asked me about Jürgen Klinsmann. They asked me about the right after when Bora Milutinovic left, and then the year after Steve Sampson, they asked me again, and what I think about Bruce Arena, and I gave them my opinion. I said that would be fantastic. And then 2 years later, with Jürgen Klinsmann, the same thing. So you can ask players what they think, but in general, it is the management of the club or of the federation. They have to make a decision about what kind of a type of football you want to play, what kind of style you want to play, and what kind of a person you're looking. You're looking for somebody who is, kicking everybody's ass and say, you know what, you need to do this, blah, 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 and done this. Or you have somebody who talks normal and say, you know what, we need to be less and calm. You can find a club. You can have total different type of players who are have a different style. But you as a club, you have a philosophy. What kind of a football do you want to play? What kind of a strategy do you have? Do you want to play forechecking? Like Jürgen Klopp is the best example. I mean, he is killing the team after 3-4 years. He gets a team. The team is not successful, but he makes them successful. He picks players that he wants, and then after 3 years, the type of football he plays, that the players are after 2-3 years, they are done. They have no energy anymore because it's almost impossible to do that over 3-4 years. So Bayern Munich with Hansi Flick is a total different guy. He's a guy who is sitting together with the players and put them in the arms, saying, "No, look, we need to do something like this." But Jurgen Klopp is more euphoric and flipping out and all that. But I had my coaching license. I did my practicum, my apprenticeship with Jurgen, because I wanted to Jurgen Klopp. I wanted to see how he deals with the players because I loved that the way. And Hansi Flick, he did the coaching license with me together for 9 months. So I know those two types, and they are totally different. And you have to find out as a club, what football do you want to play? What kind of football philosophy do you have? And that's how you find out a team. And then you can go to the players. You would like to have this coach, or we may be thinking about that coach, and you have maybe one or two or three say, you know what, oh, that's okay. They can give their opinion, but a decision always has to be by the management.
Coach
So
Thomas.
it should.
Coach Thomas, I just remember, no, a while ago you mentioned regarding um, the experience of a player, no, of not having exposure, like for example in the Philippine setting, where we don't have so much, fan base, no, it's not that big compared to Europe or other countries, right? And now, in relation to the Filipinos, no, that you are giving them the chance, no, to be in the national team or in the Azkals. How can you compare those Filipinos that you have given opportunity compared to foreign-based players who you put into the team of Azkals? Can you differentiate, coach, those players based in the Philippines and those players based abroad?
Yeah, I mean, the players based abroad had more football knowledge than the players in the Philippines. That's what I said before. For example, is Kevin Ingreso. When I heard about Kevin, that they said there is a young kid in Germany, Kevin Ingreso. He played before in the national team, but he's not in there anymore, and we don't know what's happening with him. And but he was. I said, tell me something about him. He said, oh, he was in Hamburger SV in the academy for 4 years, and then he got one game in the first, or it was one time in the roster of the first Bundesliga team, and then he went down and he third division, fourth division, whatever. And I said, I want to see him. If he developed 4 years in the academy in the Bundesliga, he's a good player. And I flew over and I was looking at him and I was talking to him. And after the game, I called him before. I was like, I'm coming over. I want to meet you. I don't want. It's not about watching you play. I want to get to know you. I want to talk to you. I don't care how you play. And I didn't want to put pressure on him. Of course, I want to see if he can kick a ball or not, but I don't want to push him with pressure. So no, I just want to talk to you. So I went there and I watched him and I said after the game, you can ask him. After the game, I was sitting with him in the locker the restaurant, and I said, Kevin, if you stay one more year in this team, your career is over. Period. I told him, you are the best player on the field, even if you don't do a lot, but you're the best player on the field. You need to stand up a little bit more. He asks for the ball, all that stuff, but he doesn't say anything. So you need to step up, and that's what it is. If you are developed let's say in Europe, for example, in Germany, in France, in Italy, and whatever, if you develop your football there, you have a better knowledge, you have a better training, and you have a better physics in playing football. But the thing is, we had in Filipinos very interesting players, like Armani, for example. That he has the strengths, he has the willpower to go far. And of course, he had some issues with technical issues, tactical issues, but he had quality that we needed in the team. So for me, it was very easy to form those mix of players that we had, international players, and there. But we had also issues with some international players when they came over that I said, we're spending a lot of money. If you don't perform better than the Philippine players, you're not going to play. And then we are thinking twice, why should we bring a player from Europe over, paying all that money, and he's sitting here on the bench and playing 10 minutes? It doesn't make sense. So, and I think when I did that a little bit in the beginning, that some of the players in the Philippines stepped up a little bit more and saying, now if I'm fighting, this coach is not going just because of foreigners. He's going for who's playing better, and that's what I was trying to put in the player's mind. And I think in the end it worked out pretty good.
Actually, Coach, we have a question here, no, from our viewers in Football Life, no, coming from Coach John, no. If you were to choose a coach for your team, no, what would be the two or three things that you would focus on? Maybe you can give us sharing before we have another game, Coach Thomas.
Okay, so now it depends. What team are we talking about? We're talking about a youth team, an amateur team, a professional team. There are some issues, but in general, let's put it
Maybe,
in general.
maybe Coach Thomas, maybe we can give you a specific one, which is the youth, because Coach John Bayarong is developing his area in Olongapo. So
National team?
maybe you can give us a a tip or for you to choose a coach for a team, maybe in the youth level. So maybe what among the two or three things that you would consider in the youth
I mean,
level?
I would consider you have to watch. You have to watch a player. Again, you have different age groups between 6 and 10, 6 and 12. It's only about fun. You you know. For an example, I was in the U.S. in the biggest convention for coaches, and a friend of mine who's selling books, he said, Thomas, you cannot imagine. It was a German guy. He said, you can imagine there are coaches coming over, and he said, do you have a little bit of tactical advanced training for U10s? And we were laughing. An age up to 10, 12 years is just fun. Let the kids enjoy the play of the game of football. Don't put them on the bench and say you're waiting because you're not good enough. You play only the last 5 minutes. It's wrong when you start U6 just thinking about I need to win. I need to win my league because I want to be the best coach. I want to be the best. No, in the 6 to 10 years, 12 years, 10 than 12, it's about fun. The kids need to enjoy the game of football. And after that, from 10, 11 up to 14, it's a golden age. That is the age where the players who have the most fun, they enjoy to play. And that's when they learn the technique. How to pass the ball, how to receive, how you dribble the ball, how do you receive the ball in running and keeping the ball in the air, passing and all that stuff, the coordination with the ball. So that's when in that age between 11 and 14, that's where you learn the most. And to pick a player, I would, in that age, I would say I'm looking for the players who has talent. And the talent comes with, he has a good coordination and he has a good understanding of the game and he has a good touch. The touch is easy to learn, very easy to learn. To understanding the game is a little bit more difficult, but it comes also later. But you can see the more fun they have, the more they want to be involved, and the less actually you have to teach them. And the first thing I said, it's something that coordination is also somebody who plays a lot of sports. He has good coordination. When you fell, how fast you get up, have you jump over a guy, you do triplings. If you have you have also sometimes players they don't have a coordination at all, so they won't be. Never say never, but 80% or 90% they're gonna quit sooner or later. If the other teams are getting better, he's gonna quit because he doesn't play that much and he goes to a lower team, then he quit. But you would look always about in general about the type of player. He has a good coordination, he has a good touch on the ball, and he maybe a good understanding. Sometimes he want to pass the ball in the space, but he cannot deliver because he's technically not good. But that's he has something in his mind. He knows how to play that ball into the space, but he can't. It's a repetition. You can learn that easily. And somebody has a great technique and it just doesn't play the ball always behind him. It's just another thing. This guy is good. You just have to teach him how to play the game and understand it. It doesn't make sense you play the ball 2 yards in front of him more better than you play 2 yards behind him, because if you play 2 yards behind him, he has to stop and you have to come back at the ball. When the players understand next time, because they don't know, they don't think, but those are you have to look at the player. I always saying that I can, if I see a player 5 minutes, I can let you know if he has a quality to get somewhere or not. Or maybe I can tell him what he needs to do, or maybe I can tell him forget about it. I saw a player too. His father said, can you two look at my kid? I said, yeah, but I'm honest with you. I'm not give you false hope. When I saw him, he was already 17 years old. When I saw him, I said, after the when he just walked up, and I said, you have 10, 15 kilos too much. If you want to be a professional player, you need to lose 10, 15 kilo. I don't even see how you play, but I can let you know that in 10, 5 minutes, you'll be tired. And the other one's running all over you because you can't run because you're too heavy. So it's kind of that comes back to experience. You cannot read that in the books.
Yeah.
You have to think a little bit outside the box. In the books, you can read about the structure of a training session, but you have to be developing a view of a player. Does he make a good run? Does he have a good touch? Is he good call? What does he think? That's sometimes you have to go in the head of a player. What does he think? What was in his mind? Oh, it was not a bad idea. You just can't deliver. Oh, we can teach that.
Okay, so I think that was very well said, Coach Thomas. No, I think a lot of our viewers right now was able to get and pick up some of those tips for us coaches. No, for us to check. No, what are the things that we have to consider? Yeah, partner. So I think we have to go again for another game. No, I think we're very uh,
So that means when I lose, the other person wins.
Yes.
yes, yes.
Okay.
All
I
right.
gotta help him.
Yeah, so my partner here will show us, no, a game that we usually explain when we are in a course, no, which is the dynamic football. Yes.
Yeah, Coach Thomas, we you mentioned the philosophy. So I just want to give a short background because remember Coach Aris Kaslib, I think our former technical director
Sure.
who helped you before. He messaged me and he said
Thank you.
regards to you. And he's asking what are you doing there in Kuantan?
I was hired in January as the head coach for the Pahang team.
So
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but it didn't
Good.
work out.
So
so but right now, coach, there's no coaching.
again, our game is called Dynamic Football. Ah,
Partner,
okay. So
partner, partner. Me,
so we will be giving questions later when we show.
partner, medyo choppy ka ha.
Yes. Oh, okay na, okay na.
Yan, medyo okay na. Pag nakikita na yung
Okay.
face mo, meron na, nagkakaroon ka ng internet eh.
Yes. Sorry again for that unstable connection. So anyway, Coach Thomas,
Yes.
dynamic football is our football philosophy that we try to follow in our youth development, grassroots development, we're a mixture of direct football, but we are saying wherein you have to have players who are really smart enough to make decisions that is positive. So
Coach Thomas, can you understand
uh,
still? Can you still
this is a
understand?
game wherein we show
I
you a
didn't hear any.
picture,
Partner,
then you just give
No, you have to
your
translate. I have no. You have to stop me. I have no idea what you're saying.
Coach Aris.
thing.
Coach Aris.
You have to get out of the basement.
Coach Aris, I think you didn't pay your internet, huh? Your internet.
Get out of the basement.
Yeah, sorry again. So am I back?
Yeah,
Can you hear?
you're better now, partner.
Yeah, so
I
Better
saw the
coach,
picture.
better
yeah.
not maybe
So
partner better not show the slide na lang. I think medyo nagka-problema doon eh. So you just tell coach na lang. Then later on you show the pictures for Coach Thomas.
okay, so we'll show you three pictures. Then you just have to give a short line. So maybe we get to know your idea or who are those on the photo.
A line about what?
Just background because Coach
What?
Mike is curious. Who is that with you on the photo? And
Also,
what are your thoughts
Yeah,
when you see?
what can you share about the picture? For example, what did you what
okay. Understand. Understand.
Okay, so let's try again, huh?
partner
This one.
there.
Oh, nice picture.
Can you share us, coach? Who is she?
Huh?
Can you share to us who is
She's
she?
uh, she's from the Philippines. She's my girlfriend and my fiance.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, that's why.
Oh,
And she's from what province in the Philippines?
Taguig. Taguig.
Taguig.
Wow, okay,
Oh.
in Manila, yeah, okay.
Taguig.
Oh,
Yes.
So,
Yeah,
okay.
it's just arrived 3 weeks ago here in
Oh.
Malaysia. Because difficulties from traveling and stuff.
Yes,
But
yes.
yeah, 3 weeks ago.
So she did
Oh,
quarantine also, coach? Also quarantine?
Did I?
She did quarantine
Yeah, yeah.
also?
She
Yeah.
3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks she came out of the quarantine. And that was a nice picture in Da Nang in Vietnam
Yeah,
last year.
we selected the big picture, no? But we have another picture, but this is better.
the other
Yeah, I
picture
look
is
younger.
wacky.
The other picture was wacky, you know.
So good. Okay.
Okay, next picture.
What's that? I go back right now. Go back one more. Can you go back?
Okay, okay.
Okay, 1 second. I have to make a screenshot.
Ah, okay.
Ah,
So that you
Okay.
can show to her.
all right.
Yes.
Okay, that's great, huh?
Okay, how about this one? What can you say about
What's that?
our manager, Sir Dan Palami?
He is most important one for me to give me the privilege to coach the Philippines and get this success. I'm very thankful for that, what he did to bring me over and give me the opportunity to get to know the Philippines, get to know the team, and I had 4 incredible years in the Philippines, and I know that I will come back too. Obviously, on the other hand, he also stole a little bit the accomplishment that I did with the team. So when we qualified for the Asian Cup, and 6 months later, I wasn't the one who could benefit and could enjoy it. That was a big downtime, a downside for me, and I until tonight, I still can't believe why why a federation is doing that kind of a decision. But it's something that we have to deal with. But I'm thankful for bringing me over to the Philippines and giving me the opportunity to get to know the country, the people, and again, it's those 4 years. And I lived there for 6 years, but the 4 years were one of the best years I had in my life.
Wow, that's very
It
well
was great.
said, coach, no? I mean, for our former national team coach, for appreciating for what you have done for our country. Yeah.
Okay, how about
Thank you.
here,
Very
our
nice.
federation president?
Same thing. I met him obviously in those 4 years a little bit closer, and I have only respect for this person. He's a great person. I got to know him a little bit personally, a little bit obviously dealing with the federation, and I have nothing negative to say against him. He's a great leader. He did what he could for the football in the Philippines, and I working with him was nice. I enjoyed it.
So, what can you say, coach, before we go to the other one? Because he is again re-elected to be still the president of our federation, Sir Nono. Do you have words for him?
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, because he is a good person, and he wants to do the best for the federation. And he's not the one who's making all decisions, but he's guiding. And he's looking over everything. He's a very nice person and a very good person for the federation too. And I think it's a good decision to stay with him.
Yeah.
Okay. Another question. Would you think our Philippine national team is ready to at least qualify for World Cup? Or what's your say on our federation getting coaches outside Asia, getting them, giving them a short period of time, and then expecting a high result? What's
You know,
your say on that?
I I think it's I think it was a little bit panicking And I need to come back to the situation when I left, and I want to talk about that too. I was for 2 years. The last 2 years, I was hoping to get the assistant coach. I didn't have an assistant coach. I did everything on my own, and uh, and I was begging for an assistant coach in those 2 years, and I didn't get it. I got one with Chris Greatwich that I wanted him so bad, even a couple games before. I got him in the last, what, 7 days in the last game, and then after that we have only 6 months, 7 months to to prepare for the Asian Cup. When you have a coach in general, forget about me, but if you have, just think about it. If you have a coach who developed that team to that, and you have only the national team, you have only every 2 months the players for 10 days. You're developing a successful team where we played really nice football. Not all the time, but the success that we had was breaking 11 records. You're going higher and higher and higher. And now you qualify unbeaten with all the difficulties we had in a league pressed together in 3, 4 months that we had to deal with a lot of injuries. We still didn't lose a game. Now we have 6, 7 months, and with a coach who had the biggest success in the history of Philippine football. If you're getting a new coach in, he doesn't know the players, not all, or not good enough. So he's trying to, oh, this one, that one, this guy and that guy. What I did before, and I figured out it doesn't work. He's great in training, but he's not good on the field. So you figured out with all the players we had in there, now you get a new coach in. And a new coach came in, suddenly he had 4 assistant coaches. 4. How many coaches and how many assistant coaches since I left are with the team? Just think about it. With all the everybody who was only there for a couple hours, it was there for with 2 assistant coaches, with 3. The new coach coming, he brought 2 in. When you think about that, and obviously when you could see the players we developed, or the players who made it happen to qualify, I think 80% of them, not 80%, let's say 60% didn't play, and 40% of them, they underperformed. Dato didn't perform very well. Manu didn't perform very well. Kevin didn't perform very well. Mike didn't play. Phil didn't play. There were more players. They carried that burden to get to that place, and they didn't get a chance to play. So with good players coming in, with Strauss and so on, and who was it again? Defense. We got a new goalkeeper coming in. So we had 3, 4 good international players or good players coming in, adding to the team who won before, and give the coach a couple, maybe 1 or 2 assistant coaches. That could have been 10 times better.
Coach
And we
Thomas.
talked.
Coach Thomas, I just want to ask regarding that now, because it was popping into my mind right now. Why it happened that you were informing us right now that, considering that you are in the Azkals already, and then you don't have an assistant coach, considering that there are a lot of coaches in the Philippines. There are, I mean, are you looking for a foreign coach to assist you, or are you open
I
up?
was,
Are you okay with Filipino-based coaches who can assist you and help out you with the team?
of course, I was with Chris Krapich. I wanted to have him before, and I said I would love to work with him, and then that would be fantastic. Or even another one. As the reason why you need an assistant coach is you need to get some help,
Yeah.
somebody who understands football, who
Yes.
watches the game, and say, hey Tom, did you see that, or what do you think? In the end, I'm making a decision, but at least I have to set up the field. I have to set up the training sessions. I have to create training sessions. I have to think about my speeches with the players, individual players, team players, opponents, watching them. Everything you have to do at once. Now you can delegate. You can, okay, why don't you watch about that? You watch about this. We talked about here. We talk about there. Who should I talk to? There was nobody there. To an equipment manager or somebody else. Did you see that? What do you think about that? It's just a help to give more time to important things to make it even better. That's why it is, and it doesn't have to be in a national coach. It has and somebody. We have good coaches over there. We had them, and it's just I have no idea why not. I mean, there was so much going on. In the end, I didn't understand about that. If he wouldn't be successful and it would be okay, but it doesn't go in the right direction, you get a new coach for something new, that would be normal. But in that case, I said, I don't know what the reason is, but you can actually, and when you look at the games in the Asian Cup, they weren't great. We'll be played two times against Kyrgyzstan. We won two times against them, and in that over there we lost 3-0. Yeah, I mean, when you hear what they're saying about, they're big guys, they're strong like ex-Russian players, and they're tough. Hey, we played against the same players maybe a year before, 2 years before, we beat them. Because when you play against teams like that, you don't get in a one-on-one situation. You don't get in a body contact with them. When they have the ball, we have to go in body contact. But if we have the ball, no, play early. Don't get in a fight one-on-one. And they didn't. That's why they lost those games. So, and that is kind of, it's not my thing why it didn't happen. I just say that doesn't make sense for me. That is from a coaching point, it doesn't make sense.
Follow-up question, because you are really following the games of our national team.
Yeah.
What are the things? What then would you suggest we need to do in order to improve on those aspects? So maybe given a chance that you continued your coaching
Your coaching stint.
with the Azkals, what were your thoughts then? Were you preparing something else for the team?
You mean when after we won?
After
I
you
didn't
qualify,
understand the question.
Oh,
maybe after you
can
qualify
you
for the
can
After
Euro.
we qualified.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, I had a conversation. My contract ended a day later, so I got a conversation with Palami 2 days later, and they asked me about, would you bring Shrek back, and I said no. I said no. Why? Why should I bring him back? He's not a bad player, but we had all the success without him. So there was no one big success or any success that we had in 4 years when he was a part of it. So, but we had bad situations when he was there, and I everybody knows that we had an issue. But for me, an issue is, I need team players, not individuals. Team, it's only the team. It's about the team and not about the individual. So you have to play a certain type, and you have to be organized, and you have to follow the rules. And then when he asked me before we had the game, do you want to bring him back? And say no. After before the Nepal game, you want to bring him in? Say no. I want success. Before the last game, you want to bring him back for the last. Say why? Do you want to win the game? And he said yes. Like, okay, then he shouldn't be there, because I want to play good football and successful football. So, and that's when we had, and they asked me about, would you bring him now for the challenge cup? I said, for the Asian Cup. I say, you want success? And he said yes. And I said no, I wouldn't bring him back. And then I didn't get a new contract. So now
Uh,
he's a captain, he's a leader, he's all over media and all that stuff, and I don't know for what, but it's the direction that the federation, and that's okay. Again, that's okay. If a federation, a club want to go with that kind of a direction, it's okay. That is because they're making a decision. For me, it's like I don't understand it, and I think it's uh, maybe proven that it didn't work out the way that they thought it should be, and again I have my own philosophy and my own ideas why it's not going to happen, and it's again I'm coming back to those. You want to go in a positive direction and want to be successful, that kind of a patterns you need to have. If you go other patterns, it doesn't work, and it's proven many times.
Coach Thomas,
Wow, that
Coach Thomas, it's just wondering, no, I'm just wondering regarding that one because considering that Shraki, no, I mean, pay respect to him, considering Shraki is a German, and then you as well, you speak German, right? You've been raised in Germany, but considering that you had this conflict together, no, I mean, it's just that. Uh, Maybe there's things that happened that made you decide on that one, right, Coach?
What do you mean decide on that one?
Regarding the issue, I mean the situation that Sharky will not be part of your team. I mean all those things that you
Yeah, but again, it starts with the Challenge Cup in the beginning when I came. I he was injured and he couldn't train, and I took him out because I said, yeah, I want you to be in the final. I want to win this thing, and you're a European player from the Bundesliga second division, and you can help the team. So, but when I didn't see anything he was pissed off about that. It's okay. I mean, the players always wants to play, but for me, it's like I want to win. So and then that was the first issue, and then later on, obviously, it's yeah, I want to play football, and and I said it to him personally too. Individually, he's one of the best players we have. Tactically and as a team player, he's not. And you have to find out if you, in my opinion, is like that, and maybe the coaches don't think like that, maybe he's different, whatever. I'm just saying, if you don't need the best player to win and be successful, you need the best team. That's what the key is. If you have somebody in there who is not a team player and he want to do whatever he wants to do, it's difficult. It's difficult. And maybe I only can talk about my time when I was there and we had issues. Again, individually, he's a good player. He was the fittest player. He was from the way he plays and stuff. But again, it's not a weekend game. It's about tactic. Tactically, you have to play system. You have to play a certain responsibility in your position you play, and you have to do that. And outside the field, you have to follow too some rules. So and I it never worked out with him when I was there, and maybe now it's better, but the results shows maybe not. Now you have new good players in there. I mean, of course, I wish I would be there right now and would have those kind of players that they get with Holtman. We're trying to get him. It's good for the Philippine football. Of course, it's good. Those are great players. They can help. Those are real Bundesliga players, and they can help a lot. Do we qualify? Maybe. Do we have a chance? Of course, we have a chance. But even when you go out of this group, you have to go in another group again, and you have to show what's happening in there to qualify. But I think that the options from year to year are getting better and better. There's no question about that. And one day, maybe in the next couple of years, maybe there's a possibility that even the Philippines can qualify.
We're looking
I don't know.
forward, Coach.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, yeah. Actually,
Maybe
we've been discussing, no? I mean, we just had a tutor's course or the instructor's course for all uh, qualified coaches that will be able to formulate or improve the program when it comes to football and educating our coaches, no? I mean, a curriculum wherein we have to teach our new coaches how to teach football. I mean, how to coach football. So I think that's a step forward for us. No, I mean, educators or tutors of the sport to be able to educate now properly what you're mentioning, no, I mean the proper way how to do and deal with our players. Yeah.
I
but
mean, it's
yeah.
great. And I saw that in Vietnam also, the year that I was in Vietnam, it was fantastic to see how they're developing the players with academies and all that stuff, and how they treat the players and who is disciplined. And now I'm here in Malaysia, and then look around in Malaysia a little bit. What a fantastic football basis they have. The fans are fanatic wherever you go. The fans are on the street. They now is lockdown. They are like a racehorse, being in a barn, and they want to go out and want to run. It's amazing what kind of an energy that there is in football here. And if the Philippines would get that, there would be another 20% that you can explode. I wish we can get there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Uh, very. It's really challenging for us, but with you, helping out, given a chance to really boost the football uh, in the country. Well, helping our national team qualify for Asian. And then again, some of your sharings were in very useful for us coach educators to share, especially dealing with the superstar players. We really commend you for sharing that one. Uh, but then again, what if let's say Shraki is Messi, your player is the caliber of Lionel Messi, will you still be having similar decision? Because let's say all the fans are demanding for their superstar player. What's your decision then?
And it's a very bad situation or metaphor. I mean, Messi. Uh, I heard, our my goalkeeper coach that I had for a year. He worked in Barcelona, so he told me a lot of this club, what's happening inside, what you don't see on the outside. And I don't want to say it, but I'm thinking about if you have somebody who scores so many goals, assists so many goals like Messi, it's a different story. I'm not, like I said, I don't want to hammer on Shreki and whatever. I don't care. I really don't care. I really don't care about that. If I be in a position with the national team, I'm picking the players that they can help me. If I have a Messi in there, can he help me? Of course. He scores 40, 50 goals and he assists and he's dangerous and doing all that stuff. That's a different story. But if Messi is going in and does the things that happens with me in the Philippines, then he wouldn't play either. It's not about the name. It's not again. It's not that he's German. It's not about there's no competition. I'm a coach and he's a player. It's not about this. It's not about what color you have. It's not about where you come from, how tall you are, or whatever that is, how old you are. I said it to my older player too. I say it's not about the age. It's about performance.
Commitment.
The performance counts. If you perform, it's great. If you leave the team for 6, 7, 8 games in a qualifier and a World Cup alone and don't help them, and then you have a game and you should help the team now in a position where you don't want to play. If you don't want to help them, when do you want to help them? Only when you want? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's a team. It's a federation. It's a country. And I put my best ability, whatever I can do on the field, into the team and working hard to get it done. Period. It doesn't matter if you are 45 years old and you run more than Armani and you be better in a defending than Armani, and if you're winning more 50-50 balls, who do you think who's playing? The 45-year-old or Armani? It's a 45-year-old. Because why? I'm not here to developing a game or developing, sure, but I'm playing now football on this weekend and the best players play. And if you have a period of 6, 7, 10, 15, 20 games and 100 training sessions and camps, you find out which one can help the most. And that's how you make a decision as a coach. I'm not making a decision about coach who makes the most money or who is a famous player or is the tallest guy or is the youngest or anything like that. It doesn't help. And the people who are against me, they don't understand. They don't understand me because I want to help the institution. The institution is the federation and the people who are spending money for the federation and the individuals who are spending money for the federation because they want success. And I want to deliver success. That's the only thing. And if you don't do the things that you should do and you don't perform the way you should perform, then you will be out. I tell the players too, if you have a great, and you can do that in the youth teams also, in the 16, 17, 18s. If you are playing left center back and you always be in the wrong position, you be always behind the forward, and he scores. And now the other one is not doing it. Who do you think who's gonna play? You who making all the mistakes or the other ones? And if I take you out, for example, if I take you out after 40, after 60 minutes because you don't play well, what everybody can do, play well, don't play well. So when I bring the next guy in, and the next guy plays better than you play, who do you think starts next week? That guy, because he played better. Now he now gets a chance to play every single time until he maybe plays bad, and I have to put another one in, and he plays. Why should, when I tell you, if you play better than the other one, if you play great, you're gonna play, and next time I take you out, it's like, oh, what is he talking about? He's always taking A and then he's doing B. No, I put pressure on the players. And why? Because I want success. If you from Europe coming in over and you don't play better than the one from Cebu, next time you stay over there in Europe and he's playing, and we don't spend $6, $7, $8,000 because we don't have the money. I want success. Simple, period. And if the players understands, then it works. And that's what we tried to do. And I think most of the time it worked out.
Yeah,
You have to be consistent.
that's something that we have to remember as coaches, no? I mean, what you were saying to us, those things, those characters, no? I mean, as a principles of a coach like you were giving those things to these players, no, for them to understand, no? I mean, your philosophy, how it works within the team, no? Creating competitions, no, creating challenges for these players to 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 do or give out their best for the team. Yeah.
That's what it is. And I would be stupid. I'm not in a situation that I would be stupid to say I'm just putting the players that I like the most. No, ask Misak. Ask Misak. Misak and I take that sometimes an example when I'm talking to some people, and I say, Misak, I'd walk to him before the first game against Bahrain. I said, the last 5 minutes, you can do whatever you want, guys. 5 minutes, everybody want to do sprints, shooting, whatever. And I looked over there in the penalty box, and Misak was walking around, head down. And I walked over and I said, Misak, why do you make it so easy for me not letting you play? You didn't understand what I was saying. So what do you mean, coach? No, you make it so easy for me to say, okay, Misak, no, it's not going to play. I was like, you don't score goals in training, you don't assist, you don't win a 50-50 ball, you're not dangerous. Always when you have a fight with somebody, one-on-one, you're always on your ass and whining. So tell me, what is the reason to let you play? It's impossible. I cannot let you play. Yeah, so be afraid. What are you afraid of? And when you come down the elevator, I'm afraid. And it's like, Misak, I'm not biting. I'm helping you. I want to help everyone. Do you need a hug? I put my arms on, gave him a big hug. And I said, I want you to succeed, but you have to do your job. The forward needs to score, needs to be dangerous. After 20 minutes against Bahrain, Shrek got injured. I took him out, put Misak in. He scored 2 goals. Misak scored I think the most goals in the World Cup qualification. And every time, next time, would I let him out? Heck no. I let him start. And before he went to the game, I came, Misak, come over here. What? I gave him a big hug and I said, listen, know exactly what I said, what I want from you. And he did his job. That's how it is. That's how you need to do it. Very
Co-
simple.
Coach Thomas, actually we remember, no, me and Coach Aris remember that, no, because we had him in Football Life also, and then he was mentioning about that scenario, no, I mean that experience wherein you gave him that opportunity, no, that opportunity to play in that match, no, wherein he was able to deliver. Yes.
Yeah.
Have
Okay. Uh, I think we can now proceed to our coaching eye game.
Yes.
So if the viewers can make a guess, even Coach Thomas, you need to give your opinion also to our football life game, the coaching eye. So first, we will be. I gave a clue a while ago wherein the first coaching look alike of Coach Thomas is a German striker who also played in the World Cup, and then I think he's coaching a national team before with someone else. So it would be very easy. I think no one is giving their guess, but I think he's a friend of Coach Thomas, and they work together uh, during his coaching. I think that's a good clue. Uh, what else?
Partner, you're giving all the answers already, ah.
He played for clubs like Stuttgart, Inter Milan, Monaco, Tottenham, and Bayern Munich. I think Coach Thomas knows it already.
Coach
Do
Thomas
you
is
have a
smiling already. Coach Thomas is smiling already.
do you have a guess who that look alike?
You can give the answer, Coach, before I give mine.
Jürgen. First name's Jürgen.
Oh, okay.
Alright. There you go.
Uh,
Do you agree,
would you
Coach
agree?
Thomas? Would you agree?
I don't know if we look alike, but I had a good time with him. He
Maybe
was
you,
a,
Oh.
maybe you can give a word, Coach, for maybe Georgian can watch this in the future.
I will let him know next time I see him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So, how about you, Coach Mike?
So
Who's that Hollywood star?
this one, Coach
Wow, I
Thomas
have
will be
no idea. I
this
know
one.
how he looks. I know who he looks like.
Yeah, this one is a Hollywood
I know he
star,
looks like
Coach. Yeah, and he's the actor of the eponymous film series, which is the
the latest James Bond.
yeah, yes,
I think the latest James.
yes, Casino
Yeah, I
Royale.
don't know what. This,
Yeah, Casino Royale.
uh,
Maybe his maybe I can give the a player playing in Kaya. One of the players playing Kaya right now, and it's a forward. That is the first name. You have an idea, Coach?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, so
I don't
Okay.
know. I know
Anyway,
exactly how he looks. But I said I don't remember names. I'm very bad with names.
okay,
so I think it's Daniel Craig.
yes.
Yeah, but I didn't picture that one. I pictured the one with short hair
Yeah.
and with suit and
Ah,
It's okay, Coach. It's
with
okay.
the abs and naked
over the apps, of
body.
course.
Okay, and
My app.
unfortunately, Coach John, no, you got the Daniel, but Coach Thomas got the Georgian Klinsmann. So, you didn't get the prize, Coach. It's okay. Nice try, Coach John.
Okay.
So, Coach Thomas, maybe we can
But
ask you already, no, in here in Football Life, maybe you can give a wish, no? I mean, aside from this pandemic getting over already, no, uh, maybe you can give a wish to Philippine football, Coach Thomas. Yeah, and then you can give a wish to Philippine football. And for you, Coach Thomas, what is football for you?
football is actually my life. I started football when I was 9, and we playing every day with my brother. He's only 11 months older than me. So we played together in the youth teams. We we had all those success in the youth teams, and then we played together in the third division. Then he torn his ACL. That's 30 years ago, and then his career was over, and he was better than me. And then after that, we just were so tight with all the times talking about football. He was on my side when he had the success. He started coaching. He's now professor, doctor in natural biology and stuff, but he's still coaching and now he's sports director in the fourth division club. Without football, is our life is totally different. And I still want to be involved in football many years, and it's everything. It's everything. My whole experience where I have been in my life, and traveled so many countries and so many places and learned so many cultures and meeting so many people only because of football. And that's why I'm thankful for everything what I have done, what I could have do, and hopefully can do in the future too. And what was the other question?
Maybe you can
What's
give a
your personal wish?
you can give a
The
wish
wish
for
I hope
Philippine football. Yeah.
that the Azkals going to the next level, that they can, go to the second round in the qualification, and I don't know if they are ready right now. I hope that the Holtmann and Obermeier, those guys coming over from Germany, and can add another 10% to the team. Obviously, that would help a lot, and then just hope that the success continues, and I wish that the Philippine um, media and the fans uh, would push a little bit harder to get it done. And harder, I mean, more focusing on the right thing. When I see with Vietnam and even Malaysia, but Vietnam is absolutely the powerhouse. They're doing so much right, and always, they listen and trying to fulfill the thing. You can copy what other countries do. You don't have to learn it on your own. That's what I learned when I grew up. That the same as a player, you don't have to learn from your own mistakes. You can learn from mistakes of your teammates, and that's with the federation or with the league, football in general in the country too. You don't have to do everything on your own and learn everything on your own. If it works in Europe, it can work in the Philippines also, and that's something that they should continue, and then there will be one day World Cup in the Philippines, or the Philippines team in a part in the World Cup. It's possible.
We we
I hope
will
Wow.
I be still alive.
yeah, actually, coach
I hope I
Thomas.
coach the team when that happens.
Yeah, actually, we are also
Okay,
dreaming of that,
final
coach.
final question.
Oh, may pahabol mo, partner, ah.
Okay.
Coach Mike, can I yes, given Coach Thomas, given a chance that you're appointed again as a coach of Philippine national team, what will be the first thing that you will do?
It depends. I mean, it depends. Of course, I would love to. I want to come back to the Philippines anyhow, and I want to live there too. But I would love to, be involved in something. And one thing is, why not? I mean, it worked out before. Why shouldn't it work out now? Obviously, my first thing would be, like my first question always is, what is your goal? What do you want to achieve? And then it comes back to okay, for that I might need some help. I might need an assistant coach, or I might need to whatever. But I know you're maybe pointing out to players. I don't know what kind of players are available. I don't know what the future brings with that. But it's everything is workable. But there again, there's one thing that there's the institution, and the institution is not just the federation, is football in the Philippines, and that's big. That's 400 million people, and that needs to be the focus. And everybody needs to do what is possible. And with good players that we have right now, I mean, I wish I would have those players that they have right now. We could work with them because it was less, you can focus on a little bit more things, that because they're coming with a big experience. So no, it's great. I like the the situation where the Philippine football is in right now with the team, with the players, and I just hope that the success will be there. And who knows? There are a lot of players, a lot of coaches came back to a team that they coached before and continued the success that they had. So maybe one day I will be back, like
Yes,
Schwarzenegger. I'll be back.
yes, yes. For sure, you'll be back, Coach
Wow.
Thomas, because you're getting married. Yeah. Yeah.
For sure, we'll be back retired in the Philippines. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
So, Coach Thomas, no,
Okay.
we would like to, me and my partner, Coach Aris, no, Coach Mike would like to thank you very much, no, for uh, for starting our season 4. No, this is our season 4 already, Coach Thomas. No, we've been doing this because of this pandemic. I mean, we have this show for our Filipino people, for Filipino players and coaches. No, actually, football fans as well, to be able to be connected again, no, with football, no, because this pandemic really done a lot of damage to all of us, no. I mean, not only physically but also mentally, no. And then we are looking forward, no, to have this season 4 with you, no, to and then this season 4 really started very well because you have those wonderful words for our countrymen.
Yes.
Okay,
Y-
no problem. Anytime if you need something, just you have my number. Just text me.
Yes. And regards to your fiance, would you
Yes.
like to say something?
Yeah.
Or have you learned any Tagalog words
Mahal kita.
already?
Mahal kita.
Salamat pagi. I, I forgot everything already. She's teaching me all the times, but I forgot. As
Maybe,
everybody speaks English, I don't need to speak Tagalog.
Coach Thomas, maybe you can tell her, mahal kita. Mahal kita.
I she knows that too.
Okay. So again, Coach Thomas, we wish you good health and thank you very much for those sharing. It's really a privilege to have you and get to let you share your experience, not only your playing experience, but also with your stint here in the country. We hope to see you soon for you to really help
Okay.
again our Philippine football program. So again, we might be inviting you for other topics. Maybe right after your wedding, we can invite you or any other occasion.
Yes, yes, maybe.
So one thing is but also is what is good if I don't know with the internet that it works, but more questions. If coaches have questions, that it's just like a question
Yeah, yeah.
answer, because everybody has I did that actually here in the beginning with COVID. Everything is closed. We had no media, nobody there. The plans didn't get any information. So when I put it on my Facebook and Instagram side, and I say, send me some questions, whatever you have, and I did my live sessions over there with them, and it worked out perfectly. I think that's a good idea too.
Yeah. So, yeah, thank you very much,
Yes.
Coach Thomas. No, it's been a while for you to share us all those experiences, but
Okay,
we thank you for being part of our Football Live show. So,
thank
Coach,
you.
so see you soon and nice meeting you, Coach.
Good. Be
Thank
safe.
you.
No.
Okay, so again, thank you very much, Football Live partner. And then looking forward to seeing you next week with Coach Anto Gonzalez to discuss more on the football association that we will have for our country. Maybe
Yes.
Okay.
you can be watching over, no, but I think you need your girlfriend, Coach, to translate because we will be speaking Tagalog.
I know next time when you call, you don't want me anymore. You want her on the phone here.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Thank you very much. God
Yeah.
bless.
Thank you, coach.
Okay.
Uh
See you. Bye
thank
bye.
you very much. Yeah. You can press leave already.
Okay.
Yes.
Ciao.
Ciao. Thank you very
Ciao,
much.
Coach.
Coach Thomas, ano?
Shout,
Grabe, ang dami niyang ang
pa-shout out.
daming talking points na
Oh,
magand magandang pag-usapan eh.
sabi daw ni ano ni MC
O, shout out
Blanco.
mo na yung mga
Oh,
ano.
sabi ni MC Blanco, shoutout daw. Ayan, so mag-extend tayo ng konti para lang doon sa shoutout, no? Ayan, si MC Blanco, nandyan si Vil Trimark. So, thank you very much for watching, guys, no? Ayan, very well said, no? Players should understand the goal of the team, trust the coach and clubs they're in. Ayan. So, sabi rin ni Randy, very well said, Coach. Randy Estremos. Ayan, so thumbs up from Coach John Bayarong. And then, ayan. So, I think meron pa si Chito Manuel. Ah,
Coach Glenn Ramos,
yeah, si,
sabi niya, welcome back Football Life.
ayun. Ayan, sabi pala ni
Si Coach
Chito Manuel, partner,
Coach
sabi niya.
Thomas, oh,
Chito Manuel, very good points presented by Coach Tom. Ayan. Hello, Coach Chito.
Coach Tomas Saloria. Good evening, Football Life, and to the great Coach Thomas Dooley. So si Coach Tomas, dito ka ngayon sa season 4. Kasi sabi mo, problema sa connection. Pero I think,
Okay
pwede
na.
ka na,
Oh, oh ngayon, partner na.
i-schedule na namin.
Oh, napansin nyo, di ba?
PM lang.
Oh, dati ang nagkakaproblema si Coach Mike, ngayon si Coach Aris naman ngayon. Partner, magbayad ka ng wifi mo, ha? Ayan, so again, thank you very much, everyone.
Hindi, umuulan dito sa Baguio.
Kaya pala. Oh, everyone, have a good night. See you on Wednesday next week.
Okay.
See you next week, no, for Coach Anto Gonzalez to discuss on the
Yes, maganda
uh,
yon yung
football
Football
association.
Association.
Yeah, yes. Okay.
Para ma-explain niya tapos mapag-usapan.
Yeah. So,
Salamat, Coach Mike.
God bless, partner. See you
Keep safe
around.
tayo, ha.